Hello and welcome to another episode of Tale of the Tape. I'm Matt Tempelis, President of Engineered Materials and your Minister of Tape. Last time we were talking about rubber-based pressure-sensitive adhesives. Today I'd like to follow up that episode and do a little demonstration. So I'm going to start by making a tape bond, and then we'll get into kind of what we're doing here. I just removed the release liner. I'm going to place down that tape that is bonded to foil. Again, we'll talk a little bit about that. Use the tape wipe to make this bond, and then we'll talk about what we're doing here. What we're trying to accomplish here today is show you a little bit of the quick stick and the rate of strength buildup of rubber-based pressure-sensitive adhesives. Typically, they're the best at wet grab and bonding right away. But they do have characteristics where strength is built over time as well. So what I have here is a painted aluminum panel, and then we have strips of double-coated PSA tape that we've put onto foil, as you can see here. So this is 2 mil foil film. We bonded these together yesterday, and then, as you see here, we made bonds of the PSA plus foil to the epoxy painted aluminum panel 24 hours ago, 1 hour ago, and then you saw me just make those bonds here during the episode. I was using a tape wipe to get good pressure. Obviously, from a pressure perspective, J-rollers or rollers are a great way to get pressure on tape. You can use hand pressure as well. Obviously, it's not quite as even pressure as you might get with something where you can apply even pressure. So I'm going to just do a peel test by hand instead of using a Instron. I'm just going to show you the difference that we see with this rate of strength buildup for the rubber-based tape. Because we made bonds to the foil first, we would expect that there's a great bond to that aluminum foil, and then anywhere there's a 24-hour bond or even an hour bond, we'll see where the tape wants to stick to. We're hoping for a cohesive failure of the tape. That means it bonds just as well to both substrates and you see failure and adhesive on both sides, but we'll take a look. So here we go. We're going to take the 24-hour peel test first, see what we see in terms of the bond strength. And I am going to just hold my hand, and whether you can tell or not, I'm actually using quite a bit of pressure or force to peel this. And the way we measure peel force is in pounds per inch of width. And in this case, boy, it feels pretty darn strong. I would expect a tape like this to be probably upwards of maybe 10 to 20 pounds per inch of width. That was great bond. If we look at it, we're getting some cohesive failure to the foil, but bond is remaining to the painted aluminum. I'm going to do this again on the 24-hour just to see what we see. Yep, it's a good bond, some cohesive failure. Again, you see that right there, but sticking quite well to the painted aluminum. We're going to do the 1 hour bond. Okay, so this is, I did earlier this morning, and we'll see how that works. All right, we're pulling it, and it looks like it's very strong, but in this case, it is remaining to the foil that we bonded yesterday. You see that I'm using a good amount of force here as well, but contrary to the rate of strength buildup that we saw on this 24-hour bond, this time we're having failure, adhesive failure, meaning there is the adhesive is not remaining stuck to the painted aluminum. Now we're going to do the bond I just made, the no dwell bond. I'm going to move it over this way so I can get some better force here. And that is a pretty darn good bond as well. We saw a little bit of a so if you look at that, very similar to the 1 hour bond, but both of those have very strong bonds. Again, over 24 hours, you would expect this stuff to even gain strength to that painted aluminum as we saw. So just a demonstration we wanted to talk about and show you about rubber-based tape rate of strength buildup. give you an idea that these things are almost ready to go right out of the gates. They do build strength over time to some degree, but we'd expect about 80% of the strength right away, and that's kind of what we saw here. So I appreciate you joining us on Tail of the Tape. Join us next time. Remember, at Engineered Materials, we are your 3M preferred converter. Thanks, and see you next time.